Hello and welcome back to 50 Questions Mormons Can't Answer. Answered. We are in the Xiaojun outfit, looking out at lovely, lovely sunny Victorian London, and we are on question 28, I believe. Nope, 29. Wow, how time flies. Let's move to the proper train view for this one. Doing this one from the top, looking back. So question 29. 29. Since the word of wisdom teaches us to abstain from alcohol, why did Paul encourage Timothy to drink wine for his stomach? So, yeah, there's a lot to kind of unpack and kind of explain about this question. For those of you unaware, there is a dietary code in our religion, and it's known as the word of wisdom. It teaches us to abstain from certain things. Those things are alcohol, tobacco, coffee, tea, and illicit drugs. And it also encourages us to eat meat sparingly. There's a bunch of things in it. The good stuff to take into our bodies and stuff to not take into our bodies. So that's what they're talking about here, and it does say abstain from alcohol. Now, I would like to point out, it was mid-19th century that the word of wisdom was given. I don't have the exact date offhand. Paul wrote to Timothy in the first century, sometime during the first century. So there's about 1,800 years difference, bit less, 1,800 years or so difference between these two events. And so, of course, Paul wouldn't follow the word of wisdom because it hadn't been given yet. It wasn't given until much later. Now, so one point I'd like to mention about this and about why he would encourage on this, the King James Version translates both grape juice and wine into one word, which is wine. So I don't know if he's saying just drink grape juice or if he's encouraged them to drink the wine version on this one. I just want to point that out as an additional factor, that he may not be encouraging alcohol drink in this or not. You could probably find out what the original word meant, but it's entirely non-appropriate. But why would he encourage something that would a few thousand years later be forbidden? Well, things change. God gives commandments and asks us to follow them without fully understanding the reasons behind it. Now, what I can do is I can take every single thing that's forbidden in the word of wisdom for us to drink or take into our bodies in any way, and I can make an argument, based on scientific studies and health research and so on, for each of those items. Thing about it is, this isn't a physical code. This isn't a physical law only for our bodies. It's a spiritual law. While there are physical benefits, promises of it are that we will be healthier, essentially. It is a spiritual law, and we pretty much have to either trust that God knows what he's talking about and obey, or not trust that he knows what we're talking about and believe that we know better and not obey. Like I said, Paul, of course, encouraged this because he wasn't living under the word of wisdom. He wasn't expected to obey the word of wisdom. It hadn't been given yet. And had it been given, he would have strictly adhered to it in the same way that he gave the law to Jewish people to not eat bacon, any pork products at all, and Jewish people into this day live by that law because they trust in the Lord. The word of wisdom is the same thing. It was not given in Paul's time, so of course he would not live by it, and he would encourage others to live the set of rules that he currently lived, which did include, yes, it did allow the drinking of alcohol. But you know, if you've been baptized in the church, if you've made those covenants with God, then, yeah, it behooves you to follow the word of wisdom, to trust that God knows what he's talking about and that you will be rewarded for following the word of wisdom and the law pertaining to it. That being said, if you haven't been baptized, if you haven't made those covenants, I do not believe in and of itself it is a sin to, you know, disobey the word of wisdom if it's not something you personally have accepted. So, like I said, it basically comes down to this. Do you trust the Lord, and do you trust the Lord enough to do what he is telling you now, not what he told people to do 2,000 years ago? And I think that's the crux of this particular question. Do we trust the Lord now, or do we refer to something thousands of years old and say that proves that we shouldn't trust the Lord now, or that we shouldn't follow this particular commandment? I think ultimately it is down to your own personal choice what you do. But like I said, if you've made the covenants and the commitments to follow something, it behooves you to follow those covenants with the Lord. So anyway, that was kind of a roundabout answer, but that's the answer. That's, I think, boil everything away, and that's the answer. Either you trust God or you don't. So that's the video. It's turned into slightly gray and cloudy now, a lovely nighttime view of London. And yep, like and subscribe if you liked it. I will see you in the next video. Bye.